YouTube isn't the same, yet it's all the same. The platform is now inundated with lookalike thumbnails and content crafted to capture your attention spans shorter than your mom. YouTube operates on an algorithm, and like any system with a formula for success, those competitive enough to try the platform inevitably conform to its demands. And not to mention that nowadays, every social media platform is emulating TikTok's format. YouTube introduced Shorts, while Instagram has attempted to keep up with Reels. Now, I live in Tokyo and use the train daily. And while I use the phone on the train, I do feel a sense of relief knowing at least I'm not mindlessly scrolling through TikTok like some of the people next to me. It's a little depressing. However, when I open up the platform, it honestly makes me feel like an NPC sometimes, knowing that we all use it now. Unlike when it was a niche subculture for the younger generation as recently as 10 or 15 years ago. As the hardcore positivity sniffing optimist I am, I believe the trend will evolve over the next few years for the better, because I'm aware I'm not the only guy on the internet to arrive at the esoteric realization that the internet can be bad for you. I just get tired feeling like this is going to be the everyday now, at least until the next paradigm shift, which is probably AI for the moment, but that'll be for another video. And considering the current digital landscape, YouTube has become our modern-day television. It no longer feels like the YouTube I once knew. So let's be terse about how I feel here. You see, I used to use this platform to connect with individuals, to hear their unique stories with talking head videos. But, to be antithetical to what I just said, the platform has indeed developed a variety of subcultures, most of which I've never heard of course. I guess there's an interesting case to be made that YouTube is a large portion of the modern social fabric. Or maybe that's just social media in general, where you can essentially find anyone interested in anything about anything. In fact, more than you can in the real world. And I'm just describing the fatigue that comes with knowing it's not the special little video sharing platform it was all those years ago, as we all willingly plug ourselves deeper into the matrix. There was always this cool excitement logging into YouTube after school for me, getting to know many different creators on my screen while I cleaned my room and played guitar, while my parents would have the news running on the television in the other room. It felt like I had something to define my generation. And to remind you, most of this was happening before 2016. Before the dark times. Concrete examples are important to provide or else I'm just rationalizing, so let me explain. So in a sense, it feels like the true core, the true essence of YouTube is gone. But is it still there? Can we find it? Well, join me on our journey today as we travel from the left side of the video to the right.
Chapter 1! Broadcast yourself! What happened?
Still to this day, YouTube's most significant feature is its democratization of content creation, allowing anyone to have a voice, share it, and potentially find their audience among all of us netizens, and a competition for who can get a video with the most clicks and watch time. This is precisely what I and many other small YouTubers strive to achieve, because otherwise we'd be stuck working at our day jobs, daydreaming about how we wish we had time to socialize enough to share our brilliant, unheard ideas. Just kidding, I still have a day job. Also, video quality is more important than being popular anyway. In the nascent days of YouTube, it was inspiring to transcend the barriers of traditional media and embrace a DIY ethos that resonated with stupid kids like you and me. This newfound interconnectedness felt personal, a stark contrast to the rather impersonal nature of conventional TV. The slogan, "Broadcast yourself," encapsulated the essence of early YouTube, a sentiment that has been overshadowed by content designed to cater to the aforementioned diminishing attention spans.
What's the matter with you? Why you talking like that? Would your wife knuckle you in the throat? You sound like you fucking swallowed a cue ball.
I got problems, what do you want? The humanity and individuality that once defined the platform are now overshadowed by the necessity to hook viewers instantly. If your content fails to captivate immediately, it vanishes into the digital ether, joining the countless other videos uploaded daily. In regard to that DIY content, I have a fond memory of one YouTuber from France named Solange te parle. I just like saying that. A channel pretty much dedicated entirely to the goofy life of Ina Mihalash's made-up character. She would make a bunch of random videos, one titled Saying I Love You, or in French, Dire je t'aime, where essentially she just goes on a tangent and shares her own life experiences about telling people that she loves them. I love you too, by the way. For a couple minutes while you just let her talk, and you listen to her. Or you press the pause button and click on another video. I don't know, you do what you want to do. But there was this cool charm knowing there were like-minded weirdos on the internet like me looking to connect. And I have to admit, I started watching her really early on before her content got a little too raunchy for my taste. I was nevertheless intrigued by the idea that by virtue of having something interesting to say, you could find your people on the platform. And this ended up being one of the reasons I started a channel myself, taking inspiration from Solange in the early days format-wise, with many of my videos using the talking head format. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Really on the roll with the French today.
Stop it.
But as we know, people click off videos like that because there's not enough stimulation to keep the person engaged. Fucking retention rate!
Chapter 2! Gradual obfuscation niche.
An older millennial friend of mine said to me, albeit anecdotally, that during the ancient years of roughly 2004 to about 2010, even the younger cohort of adults were boomers and had no idea how to use the internet. I still don't know how to use the internet. So it was like a party, mainly a free-for-all kind of content where you just go on MySpace or early Facebook and find plenty of popular band websites, DIY creators, and other things mainly related to youth culture, without running into some older person trying to moralize or get their grubby hands on all the new tech. At least not yet. Nowadays, it's probably more akin to one of those lame gym potlucks your school would throw back in the day, where there are like 3 chaperones to watch every kid that does so much as throw a paper airplane out of boredom. I think 2017 was a time when YouTube started to become more suitable for long-term podcasts. I happened to be 19 at the time, so that was right when I started to develop more of a taste for content where people discussed ideas in depth. H3, Jordan Peterson, The Young Turks, Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, etc. Regardless of your political orientation. Recently, I found out that the Tantris Humble viewers are pretty much 50-50 in terms of their political leanings, which must mean that I'm doing something right by expressing ideas that most people can get behind. I say the next president should make ice cream free. Come on. Anyone gonna fucking argue with that? I remember this kind of information-heavy content from 2017 getting really big during that time, and suddenly the political divide began to feel a lot more palpable. Advertisements were beginning to appear on every freaking video, and the OG channels who had been using it for the previous 5 to 10 years started to either go underground and make content that appealed to their niches, or they upped the ante and the quality of their videos to appeal to the modern YouTube, to a degree that you just didn't really see in the early days. When everyone was still riding the monoculture of Smosh and Niga Higa. Yeah, hello?
Hey man, not for nothing, but there's something I really gotta show you.
Who the fuck are you?
Your neighbor. I can hear everything through these paper-thin Japanese walls. Now come over here and check this out.
My neighbor? Can I get a name, please?
Come in.
What the fuck's going on here? Are you into like horoscopes or something?
I'm summoning the spirit of a long-dead media theorist. But trust me, you'll want to hear what he has to say.
I might be too ADHD for this.
Shh. I think it's working.
What would happen if you could shut off television for 30 days in the entire United States of America?
It would be a kind of hangover effect because it's a very addictive medium. And you take it away and people develop all the symptoms of a hangover. Very uncomfortable. It was tried, remember, a few years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, they actually paid people not to watch TV for a few months.
I don't recall that, but I'm sure
it was in Germany. It was in Germany. It was in the UK, and they discovered they had all the withdrawal symptoms of drug addicts, and very uncomfortable. All the trauma of withdrawal symptoms. TV is a very, very involving medium. And it is a form of inner trip. And so people do miss it.
The thought just occurred to me that possibly if you turned off television, there would be a lot of people who would say at the end of the 30-day period, we will not permit you to turn it back on. Do you think that could happen?
A great many of the teenagers have stopped watching television. They're saturated. Saturation is a possibility. About the possibility of reneging on any future TV, I doubt it. I doubt that, except through saturation.
I heard that the title of this video would be something along the lines of YouTube fatigue, and I immediately thought of this clip when offered to share my own 2 cents on the issue. Particularly the last sentence, where McLuhan emphasizes that the only way people will ever say no to more TV would be through saturation. And YouTube is really just that, the evolution of TV. And what's interesting with evolution is that by definition it refers to change caused by adaptation. TV, for all its addictive appeal, always possessed a sort of banality to it that you could eventually tire of. However, YouTube so captures the essence of what TV wanted to be that it evolved a sort of immunization from that particular kind of saturation by doing something that TV could only simulate, putting the audience itself on. In fact, television had already accomplished this in a subtle, latent form, but YouTube has literalized putting the audience on. This relationship between audience and TV has always existed in concealed form, and is something that Marshall McLuhan himself eloquently pointed out in another interview.
Is this, that with TV, the audience becomes the screen, not the camera. They pick us up by way of being the screen. We impinge upon their senses as the movie image impinges on the screen. They are the vanishing point. And the effect of being the receiving end or the vanishing point of imagery, the exact reverse of the movie, is to turn people inward in depth.
As a medium, YouTube is really in a unique situation because of how it has completely merged any distinction between viewed and viewer. Any viewer can become the viewed. They don't even have to make a video to do so. Just by commenting at the bottom of a video, the viewer is now seen and present. This is why you see entire communities form and even orbit around certain content creators, as the border between viewed and viewer is meant to be blurred on a platform like YouTube. This is one of the threads that old YouTube and current YouTube still have in common. In fact, it's the essence of YouTube. Although a lot of the most interesting stuff that's uploaded on YouTube tends to be in the periphery of what the algorithm cares about, I don't see that as a bad thing. In a sense, it's always been that way, as I never found the most popular videos on YouTube to be the best anyway. In fact, I kind of find it amazing that there are still many channels dedicated to relatively niche content that are able to survive and grow because of a dedicated fan base that's willing to support them. Despite my nostalgia for certain videos from YouTube's Neolithic age, I do feel that as a place where I can find people gushing about niche content that I myself am interested in, current YouTube, despite all the issues I have with YouTube's management, is surprisingly better than ever. Even just 10 years ago, it was a bit of a struggle to find people talking about some of the more niche interests I have. But now it's difficult to find a topic I'm interested in that doesn't have a video dedicated to it. Not that they're all good, in fact many aren't. However, just the fact that there is a video about the creator of a really niche and cool point-and-click adventure game from the 90s I like, and the bizarre circumstances in which he passed away, is crazy enough, but more crazy is how it has over 3 million views. So despite how bad YouTube is getting on its surface layer, in the outer parts of the platform I see it thriving precisely because of how well it has evolved from television, allowing a place for niche content.
I think McLuhanism makes a rather good point in that the true essence of YouTube is still there. It's just become an underground, invisible part of the platform many of us don't see on the surface anymore. And to find that part of YouTube that was once very appealing to the niche interests of the geeky nerds here, you just gotta keep digging. Kind of like this hole I'm trying to get myself out. I just feel that the site has slowly but surely been hijacked by the plethora of incoming advertisements. There's still that moment of vestigial excitement when you click on a thumbnail. Then suddenly an ad pops up and you think, "Son of a bitch!" It was once such a fun place for all of us to come together and hold virtual hands, but the irony of internet culture and being constantly hyper-connected has made us all feel less connected than ever in the real world. Hey. You guys having fun? Is that what fun is? Looks pretty fun. Bonus chapter or something. The joy of YouTube. First of all, reading YouTube comments is about as good an idea as plunging your face into a pot of boiling water after standing out in the cold too long. You can feel the warmth from afar, and then boom, you touch it and you get third-degree burns everywhere, and you feel like an idiot for even thinking it was remotely a good idea. Despite being only about a fraction of the comments of it, there are these people who infiltrate the discussion of the comment section and turn it into hell. Sometimes I feel my own brain beginning to rot from the inside just from reading them. I'm not even hurt by it. Instead, I just look deeper into the comment on the video. Just like, what the fuck does this even mean? Don't care, I see white people, video essays start in defense of I dislike, motherfucker, I play more video games than you, and I get more bitches than you, and I have more money than you, and I smoke more weed than you. This all a you problem is some British dude making fun of you for playing Viado. You shouldn't get offended. You should make fun of him because he British. Even though I really shouldn't be reading it. That inner primal instinct to be curious in things that don't make any sense causes degenerate things like this to just draw me in while I hold my phone like Samuel Johnson for half a minute, trying to figure out just what in the actual hell is this young gentleman trying to tell me. Occasionally, YouTube comments can actually have an overall positive feel to them, and in my own case, I've been fortunate enough to get very positive feedback and overwhelmingly positive support from people. But sometimes you're just like, why is humanity like this? Anyway, that's all I got for today. Go away now.